Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Davos in the Desert. My name is David Wanatik. I'm the CEO of Davos in the Desert. Very pleased to welcome you and thank you for joining our pain management conference. We have a very exciting lineup of pain management companies that will speak to us today. We welcome your questions. You can pose a question by sending me a question in chat or by raising your hand, and we'll try to accommodate as many questions as possible. So we're going to begin the program now with our first speaker. The first company presentation is that of Datar Medical Innovation. Datar Medical Innovations is an Israeli-based medical device company. It's committed to developing and commercializing cutting-edge solutions that enhance the effectiveness of continuous regional anesthesia. Datar focuses on improving patients' postoperative recovery by effectively managing pain, significantly reducing reliance on opioids or their equivalents, and enabling greater mobility throughout the recovery process. Speaking on behalf of Datar Medical Innovation is Ofer Shay, who is the CEO of the company. He's a seasoned entrepreneur and multidisciplinary leader with extensive experience in innovative projects and commercialization. He's been active in the medical device field since 1988 and is specialized in postoperative pain therapy since 2005. So with great pleasure, I'll turn the program over to Mr. Ofer Shay to introduce us to Datar Medical Innovation.
Hi everyone. Thank you for having me. I will take the advantage of relatively long introduction. I will take the advantage of this meeting to go first and understand what is in general, what is regional anesthesia, why it's so important, and what are the needs for improvement in order to make it to enable a better postoperative pain treatment for all patients. So in general, just to understand, this is a schematic illustration of how the nerve signal passes. This, let's say, the skin or the trauma area, it goes through the spinal cord all the way to the brain. When we're using total anesthesia, we actually, in a way, shut down or pause the brain, not completely shut down the brain. It's affecting the entire body. All the other techniques named as regional anesthesia, very, very familiar with the epidural, first of all, for labor epidural, but till today, epidural is considered as the gold standard regional anesthesia for inpatient. Epidural have some disadvantage, like it's restricted to up to 78 hours. There's about 20% of the population that epidural contraindication. You cannot use epidural to any patient who receiving anticoagulant, and most of the minimal invasive surgeries are involved in anticoagulant medication. ESP is relatively new procedure in the category of regional block that probably going to be to replace in any procedure epidural. I will explain a little bit later about it, but in general, it's used similar anesthetic, and the anesthetic is reach the main nerve cord where they go out from the spinal cord, and that's how it's actually anesthetized the same as the epidural, but it can do either one side or either the other side or both of them. Nerve block is actually blocking the nerve signal in the main, in one of the main peripheral nerve. If you can imagine the nerve system like a tree, So if you go to a branch, one of the main branch, and block it, you actually blocking all signal coming from the leaves until the blockage position. And when you go to open wound or trauma, when you inject or deliver any kind of anesthetic medication to the area, you actually doing wound infiltration. You are not targeting to any specific nerve because the nerves are very small and tiny, but you assuming that by injection all around, you saturate the nerve, and by that you blocking the nerve. Regional anesthesia is one of the major means that enable patient. Surgeries that are scheduled in advance. The patient know where he will go to the facility, whether it's hospital or a surgical center, and everybody know when, and you can get ready for that. Now, in the past, before regional anesthesia could be delivered to outpatient, the duration of hospitalization was defined mostly by the effect of the anesthesia and not by the procedure itself. Now, when you enable patient to go home, to release home, which means all the clinical indications are positive, and if the pain that he experienced can be tolerated, then there's no problem. But if you will experience severe pain, you will return to the hospital or to the surgical center. This is one very important thing. Another thing that the audience should consider, that pain is subjective. Well, study says or publication says that over 80% of patients experience moderate to severe pain following surgeries, which means that about 20% or less experience low pain and there's no problem for them. On the other hand, there are 20% that experience very severe pain. This group typically are using opioids because even regional anesthesia cannot address this pain unless it's delivered efficiently. Now, when you're talking about regional anesthesia, there's two major ways to do it, either with a single shot or either continuously. Single shot typically lasts between 6 to 12, 18 hours. Okay? Continuous regional anesthesia. Yeah. For continuous regional anesthesia, you need to place a catheter that's connected to a pump or use slow release anesthetic drug. And I will return to slow release anesthetic drug later on, the advantage and disadvantages. So this is the player where we are playing or functioning, and we are concentrating on nerve block, which is the most common regional anesthesia or continuous regional anesthesia that's being used today. And that's what enables a patient to be shifted to outpatient, and as surgery techniques are improving and we're moving more to minimal invasive, it's enabled to a great shift from hospital to outpatient. Now, there's typically two main techniques for blocking the pain. When you're talking about the limb, actually any section of the limb can be anesthetized, but what we call classic nerve block technique, which means that the anesthesiologists actually target into the nerve and block it with the medication. The way to block the nerve is actually to saturate the nerve segment of at least 1 centimeter with the anesthetic medication. That's preventing the signal to go all the way to the cord, to the spinal cord, and to the brain. When we're talking about the body, we mainly use a fascia plane block. In fascia plane block, but the physician not targeting to a specific nerve, but it targeting to a plane of tissue, and this plane of tissue serve like a tunnel that guide the drug to the nerves. Now, there are 3 main factors that are important in order to achieve effective nerve block. We need the drug properties and the drug location. If the drug not reach the nerve, it will be useless. And what also very unique and what is unique and special for continuous regional nerve block or for nerve block is the drug spread. If the target nerve is not properly saturated, not all the final fiber therapy efficiency will be poor or semi-poor. So what's unique about continuous regional anesthesia when you're talking about infusion pump is it's required to spread the drug appropriately around the nerve and to maintain all the time. And this is a very, very unique requirement. Everybody should know that typical infusion pumps are used and designed to deliver continuous IV therapy. You position the catheter into a vessel, which is a tube, and then you need to control the accuracy of the delivery. When you're talking about regional anesthesia, the accuracy of the delivery is important, but not as important as other therapy. But the spread is critical. If you're not properly covering the nerve, you will get poor nerve blockage. Manual injection is considered the most effective means for a short-term continuous nerve block because it efficiently covering the nerve. When we're talking about fascia nerve block with the manual injection, when you introduce the medication into the fascia or between the layers, actually the momentum of the injection move aside the tissue and create like a tunnel. And if I need to present it and to be very schematically, this is a needle, this is a nerve, and when you inject the drug pushes aside the tissue, and the nerve is completely saturated. And the same principle it's in fascia plane block. I'll try to show a very, very short video clip that presents it.
Local dispersion initially occurs via bulk flow. And bulk flow is the movement of a body of fluid particles driven by a pressure gradient. This is influenced by physical forces, including injection pressure, elastic recoil of distending fascial layers, and sliding of fascial layers over each other with body movement.
So what are the clinical challenges? The problem is today when we are using standard infusion pump, which are very accurate and very reliable, they fail to create a full space around the nerve because the momentum is very, very low. And more than that, the way they design or the pumping technology they are using cannot create sufficient pressure that's required when you to create the momentum to move aside the tissue. And the big obstacle, by the way, are not the tissue, but the resistance of the catheter. The catheter, it's in a way like how you call it? I forgot the word, but it's create too high resistance. And more than that, catheter maintain a tunnel in the tissue. So all the portion of medication between from 2 or 3 millimeter away from the nerve cord to the insertion port is actually doing nothing. It's not affecting anything. Okay? This potent is clinically inefficient. When we're talking about fascia plane block, and typically this is ESP. ESP, as I said before, it's replacing the epidural. Instead of, let's assume that in manual injection, you will create all this space saturated with drug because of that result by the injection momentum. When we're doing continuous using standard pump, the spread is limited, so the pain management is partially overworking and it's really inefficient, and patients need to take opioids. Those patients that experience or tend to experience severe pain, there's no other option but to give them opioid or equivalent. So what we did in Datar, we invented a pump, we call it a pain guard. And what behind it? Our target or our objective was to deliver, to find a technology that can support and ensure continuous and efficient and effective saturation of the nerve plexus with the local anesthetic drug during the entire therapy. So what we did a pump that instead of continuous delivery, deliver intermittent bolus. And whoever involved in infusion pump know that intermittent bolus is a feature that exists, I think, for the last 7-8 years. But this intermittent bolus cannot mimic manual injection. This is the downside of it. And when it mimics the manual injection, then you actually receive the same output as the anesthesiologic. Come to the patient every hour, every 2 hours, and give him injection. Okay, so we have efficient saturation. We have much larger portion of the drug actually participate in the therapy. Remember, this section is inefficient, but the relatively volume of this section to this section now is negligible. The same with ESP block or any other type of fascial plane block. And how we do it? We're actually using very simple idea, bidirectional piston pump that deliver the drug at a similar rate as manual injection, and I can tell you it's about 10 ml per minute, and this way we combined the advantages of a single injection with continuous therapy. The pain guard actually it's a reusable infusion pump. It mimics, as I said before, intermittent manual injection given by an anesthesiologist. The infusion strategy is intermittent bolus. There is a patient control activation option. Patient may, if he authorized, he may manipulate the volume of the intermittent bolus. It's allowed 24/7 access to the actual therapy data for the clinicians, and it provides real-time monitoring. We have two major products. Actually, one we have with a prototype that as the final product. It's what we call Model D, the design for outpatient. Model H, the design for hospital, will be launched later. And this pump is programmed via tablets, and there's some big advantages about programming any medical device by having a relatively large screen other than very small and limited size screen. There are less error. The physician or the authorized nurse can see a chart that presenting the strategy. You set up the maximum hourly dose and nothing will cross it. It doesn't matter how many times the patient may activate the PCA or want to change to increase the intermittent bolus volume. And it will enable 24/7 real-time monitoring of the actual therapy, which provide indication for the clinician whether or not they should call the patient. And this is just presenting a kind of a management main data screen for the anesthesiology. And that chart is the data transfer. As I said, there's a tablet that program the tablet you program the pump. It's by BLE. It's needed to be in a close distance to the patient. You cannot program the pump from far away. Through a patient app that installed in the patient smartphone, the data is transferred to a cloud, and from the cloud it's downloaded when needed to the physician. What are the clinical outcomes? We did actually clinical trial, but comparative clinical trial for 20 and for with 40 patients, 20 used our pump, the pain guard, and 20 used CAD pump. CAD is very famous, reliable infusion pump, ambulatory infusion pump. All patients use the same. With all patients, we use the same catheter. Everything was the same except the infusion strategy. The catheter or the pump was connected to the patient after the surgery in the OR. And if you look at this summarized, this is what we got. We received an average the score pain after 6 hours. 6 hours for these patients were the time were about the anesthetic they received during the surgery. The effect of it reduced or it started to reduce, and now if they don't receive any additional pain therapy, the pain is very, very high. And remember, the pain score is subjective. It's not, you ask the patient, what is the pain score, okay? And during all the recovery time period, during the 72 hours we did the study, whenever patient reported on a pain level 4 or higher, he received one dose, 10 milligrams of opioids. Nobody asks him whether he wants or she wants, they just receive it. The mean consumption of opioids with the pain guard was 6 milligram, and with the cat pump was 21. It's over 70% reduction, not compared to placebo, compared to one of the most leading infusion pump, more than that. In the pain guard group, yeah. For the last one, because before that we have some technical issues that with the pump. 4 didn't receive any opiate, and 6 received only one dose of 10 milligrams. With the other group, there was no one that didn't receive any opiate dose, and most of them received more than 10 milligrams. And the last important thing, that with the pain guard, we use 38 less total medication volume. Now, this is very important. It's very important, first of all, because nobody wants to receive any medication if he is not needed to. But when you're talking about outpatient, it means that with the same volume, you can efficiently or more efficiently provide therapy longer 50% compared with standard infusion pump. Okay? We did
Ofer, we have about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
So we jump down, and one thing I want to refer to is to compare the pain guard to Experal. Experal is one of the most common used slow release drugs. So first of all, I will admit that if you can provide medication other than to carry pump and you need to place a catheter, this is the best solution. The problem that it lasts maybe 48 hours and it does not it's not have any improvement compared to standard infusion pump. So whenever someone experiences severe pain, you need to take some opiates. Value proposition. Pain guard enabled the physician to manage severe pain. It's a safeguard against catheter slight misplacement. As I said before, it provides data 24/7. It's significant reduce the risk for overdose or underdose. A little bit about the business. Now we're targeting to the U.S. market. The present U.S. market of a postoperative pain pump is estimated to $320 million. If you combine to that the epidural contraindication, which is $670 million, altogether we're talking about $1 billion existing market today. So there's enough market to play now, and the trend is this segment is going to grow more and more. There's a big shifting for major surgery, and every American knows, from hospital to ambulatory surgical center. The number of total knee and total hip is significantly increasing, and the CMF now fully reimburses any medical device that's proven to avoid or reduce opioids. Our business model is to manufacture by subcontractor and to sell through local distributor and well along to the market. What we managed to achieve now is a non-dilutive grant from Israeli Innovative Authority. We have 3 registered patents in the US, 1 in the Europe, and 1 PCT in Europe. Okay, we did clinical trial. We have prototype that are designed as the final product. Total funding until now of the project is a little bit over $1 million. We are working on raising between $4 to $5 million. We hope at the pre-seed round, if we will able to complete it by the end of Q2, we will complete the R&D Q4 2025 and submit 510(k), establish a production line until Q3 2023, and FDA clearance is expected at the same time, more or less. And initial sales should start at the end of 2023, parallel to clinical white paper. Our team, we have a core team. This is the core team of our company. All of them have experience in mechanical or elastomeric pain pump. Our clinical advisory board is led by Dr. Sanjay Fabrik. Dr. Jubin Liu is one of the leaders in the world for the faster plane block. As I said, we want to raise $5 million and exit strategy is M&A. Now,
great. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Ofer. Very nice presentation, very thorough. You gave us a good background on blocking in general and told us a lot about your pumps and your business model. So we thank you for that. It has been 30 minutes, so I think we do have to end the session here because we have other speakers that we need to keep on schedule. But thank you so much for speaking to us. We wish you a lot of success with Datar Medical Innovation. And we will just take a minute or so and get our next speaker ready to go.